I so love how so many people have had enough of these tabloids hating on Harry and Meghan for profit. People can clearly see that they are out there to smear them just to make money, and it's sickening. So people are waking up, and especially in light of the Netflix deal. Last month, so many media tabloids went on and on talking about how Harry and Meghan are cancelled, how Netflix does not want anything to do with them. They've been, you know the rest. They went. It was like for months. I mean, for like an entire week. That was the talk, the segments everywhere. They're writing constantly, making fun of Harry and Meghan. And then Harry and Meghan yesterday decided to remind us that, hey, don't ever trust anything that comes from the UK media tabloids or whatever. Don't. They never report factual notes unless it's from them or their team. Please don't ever believe a word that comes from these tabloids. Now, there's a tabloid. Actually, like Forbes magazine is under fire. Like they are being dragged to, like, it's bad. It's bad because they decided to jump on this propaganda. They decided to behave like the UK media tabloids and lied about Meghan and Harry's Netflix deal. They were the first one to also say that Harry and Meghan Netflix deal was cancelled. Mind you, they have about, let me see, Forbes has about they have about 20.7 million of followers on X, and they decided to lie on their followers that Harry and Meghan Netflix deal was cancelled. Now, these so-called liars, again, yesterday, here's what they decided to say. So remember, last week, here's what they said. Meghan and Harry lose their Netflix deal, report says. Here's what happens to Meghan's show. That is what they said last week. So today, again, here's what they decided to say. The new deal is worth less than the initial 100 million deal agreement between the streamer and Actual Productions. So, here's the best thing about everything. How do they know how much Harry and Meghan are getting? And of course, here's the best part. What makes them think that people are going to actually believe them? You lied last month. And you think somehow people are going to believe? And the best part is, I like how people are calling them in the comments. Their comments are so satisfying. It's like, you lied. You told us that they were cancelled, that Netflix doesn't want anything to do with them. Now all of a sudden, you want us to believe that you guys know the amount that Harry and Meghan are getting, whether it's more, whether it's less. You think we're going to believe that after you lied just a couple of weeks ago? Do you think we're that stupid? And people are like, what happened to Forbes? Like, you've just become another propaganda tabloid. You're like acting like the UK media tabloids. You're paid to just smear Harry and Meghan. It's not about facts anymore. Journalism died. Like, literally, journalism died. And I love this. It's just not Forbes. Forbes just happens to be one of like the biggest ones. But also so many of these tabloids are really being dragged for lying. And they've lost credibility. And I love that people now get to see that you just don't have to believe what tabloids write about Harry and Meghan. Because 99% of the time, it's all lies. It's all bullshit. They are just there to make money. And it's so disappointing to see that Forbes has hopped on that hate wagon on lying about Harry and Meghan just to make money, just to get some clicks. And they are being dragged. You cannot fool people anymore. You can try. You can get away with it for a few days or month, but it gets to a point people can see through that bullshit. And this is the exact moment. You just lied to your people, like to your 20.7 million followers a couple of weeks ago, that Harry and Meghan are being cancelled, that Netflix does not want anything to do with them, that Meghan's show is in jeopardy. And then all of a sudden yesterday, after it was announced that Harry and Meghan have extended their contract, you think they do the right thing and actually report facts. Yeah, they are again saying how they're getting less money for it. And you'll wonder, how do you know? And how do you expect people to believe you when you just lied a couple weeks ago? And I love how people kept asking them in the comments. You lied a couple of weeks ago. And somehow now we are supposed to believe that you guys know the actual figure that Harry and Meghan are getting from this fast look deal. You want us to believe that when a couple of weeks ago you guys claimed that Harry and Meghan are being pinned? So Forbes, things are not looking good for Forbes. And people are sick and tired of them using Harry and Meghan just to gain clicks, just to gain some form of momentum. Because remember, they're not getting the engagement, so they've decided to hop onto Harry and Meghan's hate wagon. which is very disappointing. Forbes used to be one of the most respected magazines or whatever, tabloids, and now they just become just another propaganda tabloid. You know, following into the UK footsteps, the UK rhetoric, which is really, really disappointing. So I was so happy to see that people in the comments were really, really not pleased with them, and they were calling them out. They were getting cooked in the comments, because how do you know? You just lied a couple of weeks ago, and then only to turn out that actually they're extending their contract. And then all of a sudden now you expect us to believe that you know the amount that Harry and Meghan are getting paid for their first look deal? Do you think we're stupid? Anyway, guys, here's how the internet is dragging them. So you have the Sussex soldier say, how do you know? Who told you? Good one. Ada says, you guys can't seem to get your story straight. Liars. Joy says, you lied and said they had no deal. Exactly. Sussex Daily says, do you know how much the first Netflix deal was? The numbers are ridiculous, anywhere from $100 million to $20 million. So is it less than 100 million or $20 million? Come on, Forbes, do better. The Cat says, the deal you said wasn't being renewed, right? Good one. A lot of people are calling them out in the comments. Sussex says, Harry and Meghan proved you wrong, didn't they? At Forbes is now acting like a lying and unreliable idiotic media outlet. They're in business partnership with Meghan's business, which she'll be making extra profit. Why should the new deal be like the old? You are disappointing liars. Trevor says, how much is the deal worth then? My guess is you are utterly clueless as to how much it is worth, because how the hell would you know? Good one. Ralston says, journalism is dead. I agree with you, Ralston. Like, it died a long time ago, and Harry has been telling us for a while now. Flower says, you allowed yourself to get caught up in the tabloid propaganda. You all look foolish now. Do better. We expected better. Marie says, I thought Netflix dropped them like a sack of potatoes. Idiots. Exactly. Bev says, not the people who lied last week, expecting us to believe yet another lie on the heels of their perfidy being exposed. Do you think we're stupid? Save says, you've become a propaganda arm of the royal family. Hush now, you told us there will be no new deal. Get lost. Me says, is this the same Forbes that keeps churning out self-made billionaire that are false? Only a fool would believe that anyone in your staff can actually count. All your so-called billionaires and being grifters stay out of the Sussex business. As Royal says, you want them to fail so badly. Forbes has turned into nothing but a propaganda tabloid, pure fake news. Righteousness says, Forbes is now a trash tabloid, just made up rubbish, unreliable, full of fake news. True. Diane says, yeah, I don't believe you. You all said this a while ago, where they said that Harry and Meghan's have lost their Netflix deal. Tate says, you have no credibility. You are a certified lying tabloid now. Pathetic. Danny says, first, you lot were foaming at the mouth that Netflix cut them loose. Now that you've been caught lying again, it's but the deal isn't as good. The desperation to make Harry and Meghan a failure is absolutely hilarious because they keep winning. Someone says, you wouldn't have a clue what their contract is. You lie. Very true. And Sussex Scott says, Forbes, stay mad bees. Y'all could never kill our joy, and neither Harry and Meghan's joy. Dreamer says, and how do you know, Forbes, what the money deal is? The other week, you were printing the bullshit, they were fired. You have lost your credibility jumping on the Murdoch toxic hate campaign with lies. And then Nico says, shush, Forbes, you're not news. Congrats, you're just a tabloid in business casual. And then Glow says, shame at Forbes, jumped on the bandwagon to lose credibility and hate struck misinform on Prince Harry and Meghan for the sake of these talentless and publicly funded clowns. I agree. I totally agree. So that's it, guys. I love how they're getting dragged on social media. It's so satisfying. So many tabloids are being called out, and I love how people don't trust them anymore. They've lost credibility. You cannot continue lying to people and think that they are stupid. They're just going to follow your lead. No, people are opening their eyes and they're sick and tired of the harassment that Harry and Meghan keep facing, the lies that the UK media and these tabloids keep fabricating. So that's the story, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'm Irald, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.